Hello, Onlevel friends. This video is to help you get through some of the skills in this worksheet, which is your task and homework for Tuesday. So for the first couple problems, you're working with some absolute value. So you guys remember absolute value is a number's distance from zero. So remember, whatever is inside those absolute value bars, we figure out what it is, and then absolute value is never negative because it's always a distance, and distances can't be negative. So in this case, the absolute value of -5, how far is -5 from 0? It is 5. So now over here, we have 5. We want to know the absolute value of 5, but then we have a negative symbol hanging out outside. So we're going to solve this. The absolute value of 5 is 5, and then we're going to add on the negative outside. So it's still a positive absolute value, but it's kind of like we're multiplying it by a -1. Okay, so that kind of should help you with the first couple of problems. Then when you're looking at these guys, these are order of operations, but they're using absolute value. And absolute value bars in order of operations problems kind of work like parentheses because they're grouping something. So when you're looking at this and you're wondering what you do first, you would actually do the absolute value problem first because we're just going to pretend those bars are just some straight parentheses. So here's an example of what that would look like. So even though this is subtraction and multiplication comes first, this is a grouping symbol, so I'm going to do this part first. So I'm going to underline, and 3 minus 6 gives me -3. So that's simplified, and then I'm going to bring down. So now I'm going to solve this. So the absolute value of -3 is actually +3. So once I simplify that, I don't need those absolute value bars anymore. So now I'm going to bring down. Now I look at this and I go, oh, multiplication, 4 times 5 is 20. So I simplified, and then I'm bringing down. And 3 plus 20 equals 23. So again, you're just going to treat those absolute value bars like parentheses, and you're going to do those things first. So now over here I have some inequalities with absolute value bars. So I'm going to go back over to my trusty sheet. And it's basically just 2 absolute value problems that you're going to solve, and then you're going to do the inequality thing to decide if it's true or false. So I want to know if this is true or false. So my absolute value of 1 minus 5. So I know 1 minus 5 is -4. And then the absolute value of 6 minus 7. So 6 minus 7 is -1. So now that I've solved what's in those absolute value bars, now I'm ready to actually find the absolute value. So the absolute value of -4 is +4, and the absolute value of -1 is +1, and 4 is greater than 1, so that would be true. So that's how you're going to look at these guys. So when you're looking at this one, don't get tricked. Remember, you're going to find the absolute value first and then apply the negative to it. Okay, so then you've got some ordering of integers and some word problems where you're talking about submarines and rising. And remember, if something's rising, that's positive. Okay, then on the back, these are just order of operations problems like what we spent last week doing. So use your strategies, use the poster on the board. This is going to be your homework if you don't finish it in class. And you do need to color it because remember, your answers determine what color you're using for different things. So good luck. I know these will turn out great.